Okay, welcome back. So, we're still working with our turtle module. As you can see, now we are not in a Python shell. We're in, the script mode on an, what is this, PyCharm or whatever. But anyway, this looks more like your typical Python programs. As you can see, I have a bunch of code written out already. And what you'll see happens is it's just going to draw a square, moves forward 100 spaces, then left turn 90 degrees, and so on and so on. If I run it, it performs all those actions at one time. Or not at one time, but, one after the other. So now we're in script mode. We can write out all the instructions at once, and then when we run the program, it will sort of perform it one after the other instead of how it was in the shell where you do one command at a time and, t dot forward, enter, t dot left, enter, and so on. Now we just have to run it once. It makes it a little easier if you know what you're doing. But that's all cool. But what are some other things we could possibly do with our program? Well, you may have noticed that when we create this turtle object, we use this like .pen thing, and we can change the pen size. So what does pen mean? Well, the trail that this turtle is leaving is, you can imagine as like a pen writing on a piece of paper, right? So what if I wanted to, I don't know, lift up the pen and then place the turtle somewhere else and then continue drawing after that? Well, that's absolutely something you can do. And it takes a little, getting used to, but we can do something like this. I'm just going to move our turtle backwards a bit. Let's go 200 spaces. And then you can use what's called the pen up method. So this is literally like, imagine it is lifting the pen up off the paper. We can still perform these movement commands. So like, we could still rotate the turtle and move it, but it's not going to leave that mark on the screen. So let's have it, turn t dot right, 90-degree turn. Then we'll have it move forward a bit. Let's just do like 50. And then we will want to move it back to the left. Let's just make some parallel lines. That's what I'm trying to get at. So let's move it back the original way it was facing. If we turn 90 degrees to the right, if we want it to face the original spot, let's move it in the opposite direction to the left. And then I'm going to move the turtle forward 200 spaces. So, okay. Let's take a look at what that looks like when it runs. Yeah. So it moves backwards. And we can see, well, we can see, it moved backwards and all that. Cool. But it didn't draw any other line after that. So that's because we never told the program to put the pen back down on the paper, aka screen or whatever. So at that point where we want to move forward, let's use the t.pen down command. All right, let's run it again. You can see now it's performing action just like that. So it moves backwards. We lift the pen up, rotate it, move it forward. So that's what happened over on that left side. That's why there's no mark over there. And or may turn left to make it face the original position. Put the pen down on the piece of paper, and then we drew the second line parallel to the first one. So as you can see, there's a little bit of trickery we can do. Nothing too crazy, but interesting nonetheless. You can do something like a series of dashed lines if you want. So t dot forward like 200, t dot pen up. Then we'll move forward. Let's do 100, and then t dot pen down. And if I'm making just a bunch of dash lines, we can pretty much just repeat this code. And let's just see what we get. Well, all right, maybe a little too much. So to kind of help us out there, what we can do is t dot set position. Set position. Now, basically your screen is a think of it like a XY axis kind of grid system, a coordinate plane, where these values 200, 100 are just like lengths on that plane, but we can also define our position where we start out. So one way we can do that, all right, let's just start at like negative 400 and don't go up. We can just do that. Now if we run it, let's see what happens. Oh, well, it moves backwards, but as you can see, it is drawing as it moves backwards. So that set position is what moves it all the way back like that. So let's see if there's any way we could sort of change that from happening. Well, we absolutely no way we could do that. We can just say t dot pen up, then change do that set position, and then put the pen back down. So now when we run it, it will put us in that like starting position, draw a line, space, draw a line, space, and so on. Now we have, a couple dash lines. And it went off the screen a bit, but that's okay. And this set position thing can be, fairly useful. Let's clean this up and just mess around with that. So set position. Again, treat it like a XY coordinate system. So if I wanted to move my turtle to like the top left, well, that means my X value would be negative something, but I would have a positive Y value. Let's just do 300. Why not? And if I run this, we can see, it moves somewhere diagonally. It moves 200 spaces to the left and then 300 spaces upward. So your set position is almost like a movement command in itself. But now we can have like diagonal movements and stuff like that. Pretty handy. All right. So I think we covered enough in this video. Learned some new things, saw some different kinds of tricks we can do, and we're going to see more later in how we can sort of clean up a lot of the code we're writing, because if you notice when we draw the square, there's a lot of repeated code, or when we did the dash lines, a lot of repeated code. So maybe we'll figure out a way to clean that code up a bit so we don't have to keep copy and pasting stuff. We'll see you next time.